up early. Swa with the book club, I believe it is. Somebody asked about that. How's that going for you, brother?
Thanks for asking. It's going as okay as it can be in the terrorized climate of racism, white supremacy. But
And what is the name of that book club?
Countering Racism, White Supremacy book club. It's actually a part of the VGQ, the question that I have today.
Okay.
Grand Rising, Mr. Bobby, Grand Rising, Mr. Neely Fuller. VGQ is that I'm discovering that the people who do know about Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Neely Fuller's books and works, a lot of the times when they have them in their possessions, they haven't read them for some reason, and a lot of people who would read the material don't have access to knowing about Neely Fuller or Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. So I don't believe that owning the books is going to help us solve the problem. We actually have to open up the books and do some serious thinking and serious reading to solve the problem, because I've been meeting people who have your book, Mr. Neely Fuller, but they're not reading it for some reason. And I do believe there could be a lot of listeners who have your book and who aren't reading it.
Okay.
So that's my view. And the question, Ms. Neely Fuller, is can we solve this problem of racism, white supremacy without being serious thinkers and serious readers? Is that possible, do you think?
Yes, the problem can be solved because all problems can be solved that people make. People can solve problems that people make. That's the concept anyway. Any problem that people make, people can solve it. So the problem of racism was something made by people. This is something that was invented, something dreamed up. And so any problem that can be made by people can be solved by people because they made the problem. That's the theory anyway. I believe in it. I believe the law of compensation says that that's just the way things work. That's the natural order of things in the universe.
Do you think that non-white people can solve this problem without being serious thinkers and readers and understanding the problem?
If they understand the problem, they don't have to read anything. I mean, everything will just come to them from that. Once you understand what white supremacy is and how it works, that's the first step towards solving any problem, is to understand what the problem is and how that problem was put together. If you know how something is put together, you will learn how to take it apart. Once you know, that's any auto mechanic will tell you that. Any engineer will tell you that. If you know exactly how something is put together, you will know how to take it apart. So the first thing that victims of racism have to understand is how the system of white supremacy is put together. Or first of all, is there such a thing as the system of white supremacy? Which a lot of black people say, that doesn't exist. I guess a lot of black people have the book that I have, the Counter-Racist Code. They have the book, but some people have read the book or parts of the book and say, I don't believe in none of this stuff. One of the first people to read the book came to me and said, ain't nothing in this book that'll help me do nothing. And I said to that person, that's the way the book is supposed to work. It's individualized. It depends on what you intend to do. If it'll help you to do what you intend to do, hopefully that what you intend to do is constructive, that this book will help you. And if you don't look at it that way, then it won't. And certainly if you don't look at the book, you're not, then first of all, I just assume that you're not very, you may not be interested in solving the race problem. And so the people who, like the caller said, say that they have the book, but they haven't read it or any parts of it, well, maybe they can give the reason why they haven't done it. It's up to them. You pick lots of books on the shelves. Lots, millions of them. So it depends on what you want to do. If you have a book that has a title of How to Get a Job During a Recession, and you are a person without a job during a recession, you just might be interested in having that book. How to Get a Job During a Recession, when nobody else can get a job. But this book will tell you how to get one. You might be interested in that book. But if you just say, well, I got 2 jobs. I mean, I got more jobs than I can handle. So you might not be interested in a book with that title. That's it. Depends on what your interest is. So that's one of the first things that you ask a person. What do you want to do? And this is in the code book itself. What is it that you want? Because everybody wants something. What is it that you want to do? Everybody wants to do something every minute of every day. Every creature wants to do something. And this is in the textbook itself, page 171, I think.
Yeah, 171.
And 172. There's 4 things dealing with wants. What do you want to do? You ask questions. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do this thing that you want to do? That you want to do? And how? Number 3, how do you plan to do this thing that you want to do? And then number 4, very important question: what do you expect the constructive result to be? So a lot of black people who talk about racism, they don't really want to end racism. They just want to talk about it because it might make interesting conversation. And if that's the case, they can say so. I'm not really trying to solve the problem, man. I just talk about it because it exists. Like talking about a ball game. I don't play ball myself, but I mean I'll talk about a ball game. I ain't got nothing else to talk about. Might as well talk about that. And a lot of people have that position. So if you have that position, just say so. That's all. Nobody should get angry about it or anything or upset. You're stating your position, how you look at the world. I'm just talking, man. I ain't trying to prove nothing. I ain't trying to solve nothing. I ain't trying to do nothing about nothing. I don't really care what happens to anybody, including me. Well, if a person has that view, a person should say so. Just tell the truth. That's all. And that's the end of that.
All righty. There you go, Swa. Don't be a stranger. Thank you for your call.